One, two, one, two. What's up, ladies and gentlemen? Back at you with another video. My name is Neo. Thank you for joining me on this live stream. Let me put that aside. I'm getting to grips with some technicalities, you know what I'm saying? Hold up, I'm already screwing up. Nah, man. Put this out the way there somewhere. Showing up. Yeah, that's that. Yo, what's up? Back at you with another video. I was intending to do this at exactly 10 a.m. This is my stream. Going forward, you're going to be able to join me and have a sit down together. You understand? As we have a look at what is happening in South Africa, you see, on YouTube, on Twitter. I got you here, Yase Block B. You see, Colbert, Swati good dude, you know? I like him a lot. We're going to be looking at his Twitter from time to time to get grips with what is happening in the world. I hope that my chat is ready. Hope that the chat is working. Let's test that out and see if everything is working out, and then we're moving. Hope you can join me. Maybe I should give this about 10 minutes for people to join or something, or just kick it off. It's a stream, man. There are no rules here, I think. Okay, I am live. Yo. So the chat is there. Click a heart. What does that do? Okay, cool. So, we're definitely live. Let me have you briefed a little bit on what is going on. If you don't know, my name is Nero, and I've been bringing you YouTube political and social commentary since February, and that has gone really, really well. And I've been struggling, though, in the background to put this content out. I have been wondering, really, how others are doing it. You know, like Ronaldo House, if you don't know why the guy is popping and why his YouTube channel is big and why he has such a massive voice, it's because of his consistency, and his consistency is helped by something. You see, I know for sure that between the levels of effort of work put in by black people and white people, black people generally put in a lot of their physical selves. They exert themselves in their workplaces, in their daily lives because of struggle and whatnot and having to be employed. While the white person uses cognitive labor more, right? That is the setting up of a corporation, having insight, the understanding of a business, experience having worked there, or being trained, or being educated, and then knowing an economy, knowing supply and demand, knowing that people need a product and you are availing yourself to sell it. And in the process of selling that product, be it burgers, you need somebody at the stove to be cooking and using manual labor. And so you go and you get black people to do that. You get somebody at the stove, somebody at the dishwasher, somebody at the counter, somebody who is security, somebody who is cleaning the floor, and one who matriculated or went to varsity to become the manager of your McDonald's. And so I wondered, bro, I saw myself put in a lot of physical manual labor towards editing this stuff so that it can be put out. And at my best, I was only ever able to put out about 4 videos per day. That would be my maximum. And then I would see Ronaldo hosts be able to put out like 2 videos in the space of 3 hours. And I would wonder, bro, doesn't your PC have to breathe a little bit as it, works out the high quality files? Aren't you using like a dope camera, which is shooting like a very thick codec that requires a beefy machine, etc., etc.? That's what I was thinking, And then I would realize that, no, man, dude must be working smart, not hard, you see. Plus, I've been noting how when he's about to share a video or something, when he's about to show us some subject matter, he looks to the left slightly, sort of like he's dragging a window from the one screen onto the screen that he's looking at, that he's presenting from. And I've seen him as well on live streams. I could see that, okay, this guy, for that to be possible, he sure definitely has an OBS setup, meaning that he's got all of his equipment plugged in and he's got his intro lined up. He's not going to edit it in post unless he does. That's also possible and quite easy. That's not the hard part. The hard part is the fact that the computer has to now work out the files for a long time. Exporting them takes a long time. And so I thought maybe he's got smart ways of doing that, but it sure looks like everything is just being recorded, just being baked. And yeah, man, if you are a live streamer and you've got that setup, that removes a lot of post-production work. It makes post-production work very little, like putting in those subscriber. Remember to subscribe, notifications, your name at the bottom. I mean, that can also be done in OBS very easily. So I could tell that, no, his speed cannot be coming from manual running. Sports as well is what a black man excels at, very much, because that's something that requires exertion of, physical labor. And black people have the best physiques on earth. We all know that the black man is large, strong, tough, hardened. That's why the white man saw him fit for slavery. I think there are stories that the Indians, the indentured slaves who became the Indians of Durban, the South African Indian, apparently the Indian would break down out in the field. And so they had to be swapped out. And so the Indian had to be given a smaller work, different work to do, something between manual labor and cognitive labor. So the Indian kind of became or had to become utilized for something else. And that's how they naturally over time got into that position. They were not hard, you see? And of course, the racist considered the black man to be the lowest, strongest, like a horse, like an animal. And so with that, circumstances all came together. So I'm now on this setup, right? This full setup where I'm able to do everything live. You understand? You and I are able to interact and talk to each other. Lunga Masugu. Yo, man, you in the chat. I see you. What's up, Lunga? Where you from? Should I type? No, I got you. I'm on video. Yeah. What's up, Lunga? Let's be talking. I got a live stream setup ready. You can see that I'm able to change from this view here, where you can see your comment right there, to this view where I'm in full and I'm commenting. I now have a setup where there's a monitor right here, and I've got a PC right here, camera right there. And I've set up these things. We call them scenes in OBS. So I place my camera there, place my logos there. These logos, this banner, I would put it in post-production. And this banner is so high quality, like it's a 6 megabyte video file in Germany. Bro, I done seen your barking, your DP, and with that red jacket there, from just that icon, Yana, I thought that you are an EFF member, you are local, you're somebody like deep inside. And you are in Germany? What you doing in Germany, bro? Yeah, so I got this setup over here, and everything now moves, right at the spot here. So I'm able to see your comments, and we're about to watch a video of Floyd Shivambu. Hope you drop a like on this live stream there, Lunga, please. And I'm watching you from work all day. Hey, so dope. I've seen your comments previously. I've always wanted to respond, bro, but the pressure of getting off here, shooting, and then having to go now sit down and edit. The amount of editing that I was doing, bro, it was insane. I just felt like, no, there's no balance here. In order to become successful on YouTube, one is going to have to become a slave, and my mind runs away from slavery, bro. Yeah, like, I like something when it's hard at first, but it's my expectation that at scale it'll get easier. If something has diminishing returns, bro, more effort, and then you start to get tired, become less happy. Hey, no. I didn't think I was gonna cope. You worked there, Waban, for years now. Wow, bro. Wow. So you catch up then with South African politics. Are you South African? You have to be. Ulunga, Masugu. You really have to. So you've been working there and you remain interested and connected to South African politics and news. Why? How do you normally stay connected? You watching on YouTube? Let's get into Floyd. On King Said So, who's got for us Floyd Shivambu. I haven't spoken about the guy in a while. I appreciate him so much. And so, yeah. So while I'm here, Lunga, thank you for joining me. I want to introduce how things are going to be happening. Of course, I want to keep the same level of presenting quality that people got used to in the way that I used to drop their videos and make them, all topic specific, where you find a certain thumbnail and greeting. Yo, what's up? Back at you with another video. We're going into this, and we head straight into it. And one key ingredient that I noticed that I was bringing fire with was that cue here. You see, that is a high quality piece of addition to my content that has made it quite different. To remind people, those who are watching the content and they are seeing me cue some that I've spoken in the past, it gels our mind. It fortifies our understanding. We move forward in lockstep. We know what we have said. We can test our growing understanding by referring backwards as well to what we have spoken. Vuyani Shabangu, good to see you. You are there in the comments. Good to see you. Hope you'll be joining and hope you'll be pressing like while you're here. The comment section is available. I'll be here until 5, hopefully. My wife is still asleep. She works a shift on the PC in this office at night. So we are now swapped. I'm awake. She's asleep. When she comes to work, I leave all of this and go to work. But today I'm going to be editing some things. Going to be doing some editing and dropping these videos. So what I was saying about the videos themselves and keeping the quality is, of course, this is a live stream. Now you are with me all day in the office. You are now watching me before I start the video, after I start the video. You see, it was nice and easy back then when I would simply hit it, edit it, post it. But now you'll be seeing what happens after the director yells, cut. You see those scenes where they used to play them at the end of Jackie Chan movies, and you'd see where the stunts went wrong, where he injured himself. Oh man, those things were so epic. I appreciated those producers for putting those parts together, you know, at the end of those movies so that we can understand and have a curiosity as kids about what we just watched and how it was actually done. You see them make mistakes with Chris Tucker then have to go back and they are laughing on set, but they are professional, getting back into character and trying to do it exactly again on repeat. You know what I'm saying? So that's what you're going to be able to see here. I'm going to have to eat while I'm on stream, but I will do that in between videos. So this is how things will flow. Yeah? I am going to be dropping, this live stream will be put up. It'll be uploaded for others to watch it later, right? But I'll still be dropping those videos in the format that you're used to. And so in order for me to do that and for people to continually experience them in that quality, in that format, they have to have that greeting at the beginning and a farewell and a call to subscribers at the end so that they are professional like that. But you who's joining me on live stream will be able to see me log off from that pace and then we talk a little bit. You know, I read your comments. I get to know you as well. I interact with you. But then when we now go straight into business, you'll see me now go into character. Hey, what's up? Back at you with another video. Today here we've got King Said So. And if you've been following, you've been noticing that Floyd has been progressing. We've had 1 week to at least laugh at him and say all kinds of things about him, you know? He's been called a flip-flopper of late. People have had no confidence in him. Journalists have been asking him, hey, yo, what does it say about you if you formed a cult and you went now and you joined a family enterprise and you're now starting a political party? What do you say about the people who are in those organizations? And what does it say about you having been at both of them? So now we are about to watch King Said So. I hope you like, hope you comment, and you subscribe, and you watch my full live stream and hang out with me and drop the comments. I'm here with some brothers, and we're going to be looking at King Said So, and we're going to be looking at their takes as well as we go into this story. Let me bring this to you at 1.5x speed, or shall we make it 1.25. Yeah, it's still early in the morning. Let's make it 1.25 and let's King Said So.
Africa, mimi ni King, nina furaha kukutana na wewe. Asante kwa kutazama King Said So. Ladies and gentlemen, well, finally, Floyd Shivambu has put together a team that will be going around South Africa, having a conversation with South Africans, asking them, does South Africa need yet again another political party, as if their minds are not made up already. I mean, we can see what is going on here. Interesting thing, when you look at this team that Floyd Shivambu has put together, there's a lot of people of age. I saw a little bit, I can say youth, but not too much of it. No serious popular people that came out there. A lot of people that have been active in politics for a long time. And you look at the number and you ask yourself, looking at this number of the people, does this mean that there's hope for this might be a thing? Can these people really put together a bunch of voters to vote for them? More than 60,000 people, more than 100,000 people to vote for this particular political party? Is South Africans going to come and join this wave or not? That is something that we need to talk about in this video. And we got an apology for Nhlamulo Ndlela. He said sorry, but then put a but after putting that sorry in there. I Floyd, man. Let's talk about that, Paseta, and much more.
Welcome to King Said So, Africa's one land, one language, one currency, one army on King Said So. Africans can unite. Your Pan-Africanist podcast. Enjoy.
King Said So.
Peace in Pan-Africanism to all my African brothers and sisters from all around the world. Welcome back to King Said So. I'm your host, Kahiso Hlongwane. What's his name? Jiva Sono, and we're back at it again with another one. And this time around, we're talking Floyd Shivambu. I want to cover this video properly for you guys because there's a lot of interesting things that have happened over the past 2 days regarding Floyd Shivambu. Before I do that, let me thank everyone that has donated to the Pan-African School of Economics, Technology and Agriculture. In fact, let me put the names on of everybody that donated in the month of June. If you see your name on the screen, thank you so much for donating, ladies and gentlemen. These are the people that are making it possible. We have complained about, we as African people taking our children and giving them to the colonizers' education system and expecting black consciousness out of our children. After the colonizers have colonized them to think in a certain way. These people that are donating to the school are making the dream of Paseta possible, and you can join them because on the month of July is our anniversary month, and we are turning 1 year. 1 year anniversary of Paseta on the 14th of July, and we are targeting 1,000 people to each donate only a 50 rand, ladies and gentlemen, so that we can kickstart the phase 1 of our building project, ladies and gentlemen. It requires a lot of money, but if we can just donate each 150 rand in Jepela, 1,000 people giving 150 rand, it will make a big difference, I promise you. Thank you so much for everyone that has donated to the Pan-African School of Economics, Technology and Agriculture. Okay, let's jump into the issue of Floyd Shivambu. 2 days ago, I was watching Floyd have that public lecture of the Freedom Charter, where Floyd was spitting fire. I listened to him. I folded my arms and I listened to Floyd speak. And I'm like, when people say Floyd the intellectual, this is what they are talking about. When they say Floyd the political scientist, this is what they talk about. I listened to Floyd and I'm like, I don't want to say wisdom. There's knowledge in this man. A lot of knowledge sitting there. He said some things about the Freedom Charter, the way he broke it down, that I did not even know. But for those of you who have not watched that video, let me start there before I go into the press briefing.
Why did it got to define South Africa's politics? It's adopted 70 years ago, not 50 years ago, 70 years ago, became the rallying point of all political struggles that happened in South Africa post-1955. What does it say? The Freedom Charter says that we, the people of South Africa, declare for all our country and the world to know that South Africa belongs to all who live in it, black and white, and that no government can justly claim authority unless it is based on the will of the people. The Freedom Charter says that our people have been robbed of their birthright to land, liberty and peace by a form of government founded on injustice and inequality, and that our country will never be prosperous or free until our people live in brotherhood, enjoying equal rights and opportunities. It says that only a democratic state based on the will of the people can secure to all their birthright without distinction of color, race, sex, or belief. And then in the introduction, it says that we therefore, as the people of South Africa, black and white, together...
I watched a piece of this. I was like, South Africa is moving. Floyd, what he's bringing here, Mbuyiseni Ndlozi did these during the lockdown. I remember joining him for political school. And then that just disappeared. And so I'm glad to see Floyd with it. That's why on yesterday's stream, somebody was saying Floyd will become irrelevant. He won't be here in 6 months. And I'm saying, no, bruh, we don't need people becoming irrelevant and falling off and whatever. We need to pray for people to maintain. People like him are very, very, very important. You know, they are very important. So his importance is stressed, is emphasized by these lectures that he gives here for you to get an understanding. I encourage this. I even encourage you going and listening to capitalists as they speak to one another to hear what they believe. Go listen to them at the Oxford Union. Go listen to debates such as that, Cambridge, whatever.
Equals, countrymen and brothers, adopt this Freedom Charter. And we pledge ourselves to strive together, sparing neither strength nor courage, that the democratic change here set out will be won. Now, that is a broad introduction of the Freedom Charter, but the essence of it, in terms of what it says, it then has a section that says, the people shall govern, that everyone, because at that time, Black people were not allowed to participate in elections, they were not allowed to participate as voters and those who get voted. And then it then says that the people shall govern, they must be allowed to participate in elections. I think maybe let us take it this way so that we don't spend a lot of time on this. Let's deal with major sections of the Freedom Charter and give a critical review now. That here is a struggle that was fought.
Now, when I was listening to Floyd here, I was like, Floyd, why can't you keep this energy? What is the need of you to insult people? What is the need for you to gun at the MK political party? Why is there a need for you to continuously shoot down the name of the CIC? Why is it that you claim Black consciousness and you've got so much knowledge about Pan-Africanism, but you still want to shoot down the EFF and everything? For me, if Floyd can just keep to this, Floyd will do good. If he can just stop insulting people, if he can lead by example, if he can be conscious about every word that comes out of his mouth and the impact that it has, especially about assassinating his own character, I think Floyd will do good. But I'm not sure if he has it in him. It's like every opportunity he gets, he's going to bash somebody, he's going to attack somebody, he's going to insult somebody, which is for most of us, I'm speaking for me. Okay, let me speak for myself. For me, I don't like it when I see leaders do that. I don't like it. I'm like, you're trying to unite people, you're trying to bring people in your political party. What type of culture do you want to present? Or what type of a leader do you want to be? And if you are going to be a leader every time that is going to insult people, call names and do all of those things, I don't have to name the people that are doing that in South African politics. You guys know that, and you guys know just how much most South Africans don't like those particular leaders. Leaders that call name and insult people, it's low class. In politics, there's no need. For me, there's no need for you to do that. Use your superior logic to reason and convince people otherwise, then we'll grant. Because this issue of him coming out, okay, this one is doing drugs, if you are not going to put evidence on the table, don't mention it, Floyd. Don't mention it. Look, now you made Nhlamulo Njara to go and have a test, a full test to show you that he does not have any drugs in his system, not dictated, no dacha, no cocaine, no nothing dictated in the young man's
no
body,
drugs.
And it was time for Floyd, because Abu Nhlamulo, they went to the courts and they opened a case against Floyd to say, no, you're defaming our character here. You have to come out and apologize. And I'm sure he's going to be sued for a lot of money also. But Floyd did finally issue that apology that they were looking for. Let's quickly listen to that apology.
That apology, let's hear it.
Now, the advantage of, so when I spoke the other time,
and while I'm here explaining there to Umkomboti, what a dope name, and all of you who are in the chat, Michelle Lee, I appreciate you. Thank you for joining us. I'm a content creator and I would love more people to be able to do these kind of things. So the technicalities around it, highlight me, ask me. I can tip you if you want to start doing content, if you want to do it like King said so. I was wondering about him as well. The same question about Ronaldo. Not to say I was comparing them and what I spoke earlier about white people and black people, but you didn't catch that. This is the official video. So I was wondering about King Setso himself as to, does he sit and edit like I do, bruh? Because this is so unglamorous. But I recognize that no, even the way that his video appears, it looks like OBS. He looks like a guy who is balancing his life, doing these videos and being an adult, being able to start and run a school and build a school in the background. So he can't be shooting and releasing these many videos and editing them. Maybe he's got somebody who is doing that for him. He's hired somebody, you know? But I realized that no, man, you can hire OBS. Ronaldo Host is in the chat. Yo, I was just talking about you earlier. Did you catch that? Were you here? Shout out, man. Thank you for being out here. I'm talking about the technicalities of doing all of this. I'm on OBS now. Check me out. Look. I can switch scenes. I no longer have to do this in post-production and sweat like how I used to. And by the way, I lied in some of my videos saying that I've hired somebody to help me out. I don't have a staff member. Everything that you saw, bro, I was sweating it out. I would sit here sometimes and not even have the opportunity to drink water. And so after the 72 days, bro, my body was so dry and I just had to tune out a little bit. But now I'm back and we're doing this in a way that can help us put this content out there much faster. So now we've got a chat. We've got King Setso, we've got Ronaldo Host, he'll be able to pitch in, etc., etc. I just joined now. OBS Studio is the best. Do yourself a favor and get something called a Stream Deck. Hey, yo, we're discussing technicalities. That Stream Deck, do I need it at this point? You mean though, like those buttons on the side? I mean, that's so dope. You can launch recording from there. You can start your stream from there. You can switch scenes from there. Right now, I've got hotkeys programmed. So, for example, one of the two of the hotkeys is comma and full stop. So if I should type something, if I should type this, full stop, you see the scene changes. If I continue, comma, it changes again. So that Elgato, it's Elgato, what? Is a Stream Deck by Elgato? I think I actually have the Stream Deck app, man. I was thinking of doing that from the phone here. Yeah. Check this out if you can. Camera, please focus. Please don't embarrass me. Do you see that? Yeah, if you're seeing a whole lot of games and things there, girly games, that's my daughter, man. You know, I don't download or take fun in fat apps. And of course, I don't have any gay dating apps like DJ Tira when he exposed himself showing his phone like this. You link it with OBS and you can change scenes by just pressing a button. Exactly. You get this. So, Ronaldo, join us here. We're talking King Setso and we're looking at Floyd Shivambu over there. King Setso is using OBS and I would like everybody to get on this. Follow the advice there.
Time I was not yet national convener of the Maibuya process. Now I've got the benefit of benefiting from the leadership collective in terms of how we should handle certain things. And part of the guidance which I agreed with is that I must unconditionally retract the statements about drug use and alcohol abuse of Ntamulo Ndlebe. Unconditionally. But we take this opportunity to encourage all the people of South Africa to stay away from drugs. And to stay away from alcohol. Particularly if they are members of parliament and members of leadership of different political parties. Drugs will never build you with anything, will make you to make a lot of mistakes, but we really unconditionally retract those statements that we made there under the guidance of the collective of the leadership. Thank you very much.
Yeah, there you have it, ladies and gentlemen. There's the apology that has a but at the end of it. But and you insulted a young man. You wrongfully accused him of having using drugs. You said he's always drunk, he's always intoxicated. That's what you said in the public eye. And then the young man went out there and made a lab test to check those drugs, and it's quite expensive to get your blood tested. I know, because my blood was tested every year for boxing, to check if there's wrong things in the system also, and also HIV and hepatitis B and all of those things. So I know it's not cheap to make this type of a test, so that they can detect positive or negative, or to see if your blood system, because there's other drugs that stay in your system long time after you have used them. You can't smoke today and say, okay, after 3 days after smoking dacha, for example, it will be out of my system. No, not with the blood test. With the blood test, they will detect it. They will detect if you had alcohol a few days ago or stuff like that. Even within a month, they will detect it. So yeah,
So yeah, Nhlamlo Ndlela took a test and Floyd Shivambu is lying. And I saw yesterday, Barakemang, Andy Lemkitama, yeah, Ronaldo Jose's worst enemy. Let's find the dude. We'll be back to Colbert. And by the way, here's Peter Kriel. Ronaldo and Nota, who is also in the next video over here, were talking about Peter Kriel, and Ronaldo believes that he's a plant. And Nhlamlo Ndlela is trending right now. But let's see Andile and Ronaldo Jose recent. Why are you appearing there? I searched you. Oh, that's the recent and searches. Andile Gitam. Where is he? There's Andy Lemngatama. And yesterday I saw him say that Savimbi must eat grass. Breaking. Umkhonto weSizwe spokesperson Nhlamlo Ndlela is taking legal action against Floyd Shivambu, demanding 3 million in damages. This comes after Shivambu accused Ndlela of drug use and alcohol. You see? They were insulting us when we said Savimbi is a desperate wedge driver. He lied openly about Commander Ntamulo. He has retracted. He must apologize, period. Down with Gara politics. We stand with Commander Ntamulo. Gwaza. You see? So, diaboa. So, is the 3 million still being demanded? Yo, somebody tell me if you know about that, but we'll quickly jump into Twitter as well and check how far that is, and even read it in the news.
I'm warning Floyd to stop that type of character assassination tactics that he does, and it's very disappointing. It's very disappointing for me. It's just I can't support it. I can't support it, especially when it comes to drugs. There's some information that I've heard, some pictures actually that we have seen, some of us, but if you are not ready to take that in public, if you are not ready to say, here's the information, here's what I meant, here's my receipts, then don't say it. Just don't say it. You guys will tell me if you agree or not on the comment section. It's the first time now that the wheel is rolling, that I'm hearing Floyd actually speak against the MK political, specifically. It's normal for him to speak about the EFF or the ANC, but with the MK political party to say the people also don't have any confidence in the MK. This is what he said.
Let's hear it.
We don't have confidence in the ANC. We don't have confidence in the MK. We don't have confidence in the EFF. And those are the 3 biggest black organizations. We are going to open to listen as to what is to be done, and that will guide us as to what we do moving forward.
Okay, so now we know who is the target market of this Maibuya political party. It's people that don't have the confidence in the ANC. A lot of us don't have a confidence in the ANC. People that don't have a confidence in the MK political party, and people that don't have a confidence in the the economic freedom fighters. So those are the people that he's targeting. He has went through those political parties himself. Now he has come into a political party where he says we can do it right here. We can do it right. So those are the people. So now the question is, just how many people are there in South Africa that can say no to the EFF, no to the MK, no to the ANC, and yes to Maibuya? And yes to Maibuya? Just how many of those people? I'm quite sure there's quite a few number of people that we can say fall under that bracket. If we look at the voters turnout numbers, because a lot of people stayed at home, you can confidently say that there are people that did not want to vote for the EFF, that did not want to vote for the ANC, that did not want to vote for the MK, even in 2024 local election. Now the question then comes with the issue of association. Who is it that you associate yourself with, Floyd Shivambu? I once said, when Floyd went to Prophet Bushiri in Malawi, when he came back the following week, if not 2 weeks after, Floyd was at Bishop Zondo's church.
Yes.
And I said, how? You guys, you're making noise about Bushiri. The same energy you don't have towards Bishop Zondo.
My brother.
If I had to compare, I would even say Zondo is worse than Bushiri. For me. Maybe
Yes.
because I know him also personally. But I'm telling you, well, not know him personally. I've been to his church and I've been to Bushiri's church. So I can tell you, Zondo, if you go and watch the cases that he has and listen to what they're saying.
Yeah, Bushiri is more of a white collar criminal, and Zondo is more or entirely, a dark sorcerer, a user of powers that are not naturally given or available to human beings. He has petitioned and made sacrifices for himself in this life to be assisted by the other life, the spiritual realm. The guy has magic.
You can't defend him like Floyd defended him here.
Pastor Zondo is not convicted of any crime.
Oh my Lord.
Pastor Zondo is a religious leader who has been leading for a very long time. He has been playing multiple leadership roles in his community.
So Zondo was actually there. Oh, bruh. Did I step off yesterday because I streamed this and I didn't see that he's there? Oh my Lord. Floyd, you are going down. We're going to have to now... Will I stream that type of content? There's a guy by the name of Mabochobocho. Ne? And there's another man by the name of Ntate Mukoto. They are Sotho broadcasters who are doing YouTube, very successful channels, where they talk about the falsehood and sorcery and apostasy that we are seeing in churches. And that guy there ranks extremely high on the number of videos done by these two individuals. And there's a third one, even bigger channel, 137,000 subscribers, Church Reality Check. That's Ricky. Pastor Ricky is my friend. He's the one who actually gave me advice on what to buy to link my camera to this so that this setup can be here. I was speaking to him the other day. Maybe we'll have to drag Floyd by his feet. You understand? You know, and we scratch his face throughout his Maibu thing. As long as he's got men like this in there, I'm telling you, bruh. I didn't see this portion. I heard him mention Zondo and whatever, but I see Zondo was actually there. So he's not being rumored or being proposed. We're not being told that he can potentially be there. He's there already. So anybody who comes now joining, meets Zondo at the door, sits with him from day one, bruh, this is going to be the sushi king, bruh. This is going to be Keniku Nene inside the EFF. This is going to stink very bad. This guy is going to go down. He will not stand. I'm telling you. He's got power, but the power of the Lord is able to bring down these men while they are living or by death. You see, death is the ultimate answer to sin and depravity. God makes people have a contained finite life. If people lived to be 200 years old, they'd be far more depraved. So in the short amount of life that God allows us to live, people are able to sin enough, and get cut off by death. So that's how you'll see Netanyahu and Hitler and, even those who came before that, Leopold, they got cut short by death because that's the power of the Almighty God. You see, He has allowed death to become a person's package in this life. So Zondo will bring death and shame and serious scandal to this Maibuye project. So I'm extremely sad. You've just caught me live now, hit by these news, and I can't not express my opinion. I'm Christian. I know this person, bruh. My grandmother is the one who watches Mabocho Bocho and Mukoto, Radio Khochele Tsaning. She watches them because she used to believe in what these men are selling. And my father is a Christian pastor who does not engage in any of these things. But you can imagine a situation in your family where your grandmother has faith in crooks and she kind of just looks past your father, and it seems like your father is not charismatic, exciting, doing the vavavumi things. But then over time, we get to see that the Holy Spirit is chilled and quiet like that. It is not, halakasem, kamehameha, none of that, bro. Get to realize that, no, this is a God-fearing man, and those men over there exhibiting all kinds of things. My grandma also liked Muporopra. So now that she has come to the truth, she's the one who, while here, will watch a whole lot of content that exposes these men. She's still, coming to grips with the falsehood that she came under. She would travel from Free State, come to our home in Tembisa, and then pass to whatever, Kikai, Bo Orange Farm or whatever, where this guy and Bomoporo operate. And she would come back, oh my Lord, saying that she's found healing, but then would continue to be sick and be even sicker. So no, bruh, we are victims of this guy as well. Our grandmothers have fallen prey. So get the hell out of here with Maibu, with Zondo in it. What are you meaning?
And even in the other organizations that we came from, he was coordinating an otherwise very large nationwide interreligious movement. I almost mentioned it in full name. Interreligious movement, which, and a lot of religious leaders went to him to say that, please pay closer attention to this process so that we still have a voice as Abefundisi and people that are looking after larger sections of our society. So we did not make a mistake.
Yeah. You see, if we are going to go with the issue to say this person is not yet convicted and whatever, and in South Africa you are innocent until proven guilty, you are only guilty in the public's eye. The courts, South African courts is on icon. South African courts let go of Omotoso. Yeah, let that one sink in. If you were watching the trial of Omotoso, you watch how those young ladies suffered over the years. And at the end, for him to be released, we don't have any justice. Our women don't know where to run to anymore. They don't know what to run to. Here is another one, Zondo, who is accused of rape. You guys go and check the merits. Go and check the merits of that case and see who is accusing him of rape. And you come back here and tell me, is this the person that you want to be part of your organization?
No.
One thing for sure that I can tell you about Zondo without any shadow of a doubt,
yes,
these people have influence.
Yes.
They are followed in a cultic way that where if they tell their church left, nobody will question why not right.
Yeah, that's not charisma. That's magic. That is supernatural power. That is owning the mind of a person. And people who are superstitious, people who are looking for vavavoom and they are in consultation with these practices. You see people who practice and and do things for the dead, etc. Zondo has powers over those people. So people who don't want a God who is an authority, who is a judge, who's got a prescribed way of living, and people want to live their own way, and they are embarrassed of an identity where you are free of madlozi, linto tse byalo, and they just need to partake because it's family things, it's family rituals. Once you connect yourself with those things, you may not be pursuing magic entirely, Zondo and his things. There's a direct link. A lot of people think that this is a church and this is spirituality separated. You know, Kreke Chaba Twabansu that have these things mixed. That's a sort of church that caters to people who want to continually practice paganism, you know, under the cover of Christ. You understand? So Zondo exists in that space of people who don't want to let go of their things, and their things keep them tied to worse things. They get them connected spiritually to the prince of the power of the air and all of his agents. So, me being purely a believer in Christ by spirit, not by attachment to any oils, to any medium or psychic, not giving any honor or regard to the dead, and what so forth. We have seen freedom in our life and in our family. Trust me, I know these things. I happen to actually marry a wife who comes from a deep-rooted family in those things. And getting married and living together, I would see she stopped attending the church and stopped practicing in family things and became a spiritual born-again Christian. But we would see a long tail of consequences that come from a life practicing these things. So the dog passes, and then afterwards, there's this long tail of consequences, dreams, you see, things still pursuing you in the night, troubles, sicknesses, epileptic seizures, things that are calling you to say, go to a sangoma, go to a medium, go find your help there. You see, possession, my brother, where my wife would change and be somebody different, or sometimes not change dramatically, but transform her personality over a long period, because you think possession is 1 hour and someone is in a trance, then they're out. No, I'm talking about a trance for years, trance for months. Somebody you tried to talk to, but it wouldn't go away. And so at some point, my wife Lena nearly gave up, and she received advice from somebody. Just as she was becoming a born-again Christian, somebody gave the advice that, yo, man, you are suffering these blistering headaches. You need to go to some pastor over there who's got church services on Wednesday. It's a deliverance service. And we're like, yo, bro, we do not need this. We do not need this. The Lord will come through for my wife over here. Everything will be okay. Just give us an opportunity. But, you know, we became convinced somehow, you know, the desperation. You imagine somebody crying with headaches. That seemed like her head is about to explode in that moment. And so we would take her there, and only to find that that guy himself, he's a Bushirian. He's got hype men and hype women. You know, when you arrive into a Stokvel where even the crowd, some of the members in the church are rented. They are a rented crowd. They are there to target you. You arrive there with some problems. The pastor's going to act like he's prophesying you. And then the next thing, he whips out a bottle, bro, of cooking oil. And he starts spraying people in the face. And like, you know, you call people up to just come and be prayed for. And we're like, you know what? Nothing wrong with prayer. My father's a pastor. We go to our church. I hardly go to other people's churches seeking help or whatever. But hey, I'm not here myself. it's my wife who needs the help. So listen, baby, stand there, let them pray for you. And then do this like everyone. Just come, let me pray for all of you. And okay, fine. We stand there praying. Brother, they hand him a bottle with cooking oil. And the nigga just starts spraying people on the face. And it's this high power spray, né? Where the stream is really focused. So it hits you like a water gun, and he really pumps it into your face so you can feel like, yeah, this is gonna heal you, bruh. Hey, bruh, I was caught there standing wondering, what the hell did I get myself into? Why on earth did we take the advice to come over here, bruh? Now look at what this guy is doing. And bro, as soon as he poured that cooking oil over my face, I wiped it off. Shocked, stunned into silence. And as you wipe it off, the hype men and the hype women in the church, the ones who were welcoming her, hey, here comes our papa, yada, 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 yada. Those people now suddenly caution you away from wiping the oil from your face. And I'm like, what the hell? So this rubbish must stay. Ne? It must stay. And I should stand there like I'm an idiot. And so I would wipe that rubbish and my wife would wipe it too. Ne? And then we would start as soon as they sang and whatever. And here's the thing. You have to now give money. So now when the time for giving comes, the pastor is now extra aggressive. Give. And he's walking around like he's owning the room, bruh. He's walking around with an angry personality. His eyes are demonic. Saying, give. And now you see, now the rented crowd now, né? They are the ones who now throw out hundreds, 200s, you see, 50s, you see. And so now you got to reach deep into your pockets, go, hey, bro, I guess this guy's healing is so damn expensive. His cooking oil there must be the high quality stuff, but I could smell that thing is Excella. You didn't go to Woolworths to get us olive oil and whatnot. You poured us, Vanna, with that Makula thing right outside the gate there. You see? So, man, when they throw in hundreds over there, you are compelled to just kind of reach into your pockets. You got to pay for this man's healing. He's done something to you. And so I throw in a 50 there and I'm like, yo, girl, we got to get out of here, man. This is not happening. And so we walk out. And as we walk out, a man who didn't seem, like he's a member or anything big in the church. He looks like he's just a congregant, light, not hardened. He then suddenly steps out and he follows us and he says, hey, yo, how are you? So how did you feel about church today? So now he's interviewing us. So I realized, you are one of the people in the rented crowd. I thought that you were just a guest who had come for some healing or something today. And now you are calling me, trying to find out how was your experience. So he has to check your customer service experience. Like, could you please give us a dope rating? Or maybe if you're somebody who could go speak about this, please don't speak about this. We love you. Bruh. Ish, my God. We've seen it, bruh. We've seen it. So let's continue. Zondo and Floyd are not going to have a good time with us watching. I'm telling you.
That is how powerful these people is. And I think if it goes back, Floyd, to Bushiri's church, which I'm sure is part of the top 5 biggest churches in South Africa, you are going to find a few voters that are going to vote for you there. Quite a big number, actually. If it comes from the prophet himself, if it comes from Bishop Zondo himself and says his church must go this direction by supporting these people, what are we gonna do? So that's the for now, I can say that's the only dodgy character there. But again, we can character assassinate Zondo, and the court say not guilty. So now, all of those women that have came out crying rape, all of them, at the end it can come out in South Africa to say not guilty. Then what are we gonna do? So I guess in that instant, Floyd is right. He has not been found guilty of the cases that are on now. I think it has been postponed again. It's just postponed. At the end, it will be not guilty, not sufficient evidence. This one died. The lawyer is no longer. All of those stories that can happen in South Africa, you guys know what is going on. So let me jump into the issue of social media. Floyd, When you started everything, when you,
I think I'm part of a generation as well which got to be pioneer in terms of the relationship between political parties and social media. Like at some stage, we were possibly the only political organization in formation when I was a national spokesperson of the ANC Youth League, which had social media platforms, only political components.
Your King said so. I think your volume is down, bro.
Twitter was still at its early stages and Facebook was still at early stages. To the extent that even the leadership at that time was not comfortable with our role in the communications department using social media as part of political communication. To the extent that at some stage one person said, yeah, we must close down this Twitter, the whole of South Africa. So from that point of view, and when we started the EFF, I was responsible for social media of the EFF alone. And people were saying that this social media of EFF is powerful. All those accounts, including of the leader, it's my account. And ran South Africa through social media. So I know what social media does and how it can be used effectively. He was not on social media when we started the EFF. I went to get that account and say, no, this is how we must use it. This is how we deal with these issues. So there's no social media which is going to undermine us. No way. We are miles ahead in terms of social media usage. We pioneered political communication and social media. If we wanted to write books about that, you can go and check in the archives of communication politically. We dealt with that far much.
You guys remember when Floyd was campaigning for the MK political party in Limpopo? You were saying there, he started the EFF single-handedly. He says he's the one, all of those things that he was saying about the EFF. This self-righteousness issue must stop. If he can say this about the EFF, he's going to say this about Maibuye. Well, in Maibuye, you might be right anyway. But this self-righteous, I prefer that people must come and praise you and say, listen, this person is, if it was not for him, we would not have this issue. But you must not, and you can keep this record, you must not now come and say, hey, I started Paseta alone, Paseta is me, everything. Hey guys, let me tell you something. It's people in the background of Paseta. I'm just the mouthpiece. There is wiser people than me in Paseta. We've got an advisory panel. We've got a community hub group. We've got strategic partners. We've got a marketing group. We've got a social media group. There's so many groups in Paseta, more than 12 groups, WhatsApp groups, where people around Africa are meeting online and talking about how to advance this issue of Paseta forward. So this self-righteousness thing to say, I opened these people's accounts, even the leader, it's my account. No, Floyd, stop that one. Just stop it. Just let's leave the Antonio. I don't know why is he not strategic? Because if I wanted to say that publicly, I would make other people praise me. I would tell them, did you know? You must tell these people that I started this whole thing and whatever, so that another person can at least praise me. Understand? And that person can say, listen, I was there in the EFF in the beginning. Floyd was running all the social media platforms. At least when it's being praised by another person, it's not good, but it's better than you singing your own praise. Floyd, stop it, man. Stop it. Anyways, let me get into the team. And please leave your thoughts on the comment section if your boy King is right or wrong according to that. But I really don't like people like, hey, look at me. This is what I did. Yeah, if it wasn't for me, yeah, I started everything. Yeah, I gave it a name, the colors, everything. No, please. Be humble.
Chill.
Be humble. Okay. The team of Floyd Shivambu that it will be going around the national conversation and talking about do we need another political parties? When you look at the team, it's quite a big team.
Zwan was right there. Oh my God.
I think I'm counting more than 60 people there in that little picture there. It looks like Floyd has got people there, and there's people that strongly believe in what Floyd is doing. They are kings and chiefs that are there. They are pastors and religious leaders that are there. Former EFF members, former MK members, former ANC members. A lot of people that are of age that are there. The question is, how much is Floyd going to allow people to lead? And what type of characters is he going to bring on board? If I was Floyd, I would look for these young podcasters. I would look for these young celebrities who are politically conscious and whatever, and rope them into this movement, because you need the young blood. You need the young blood. You guys, you need the young blood. Don't think that you, because you know social media, you can do whatever. You don't need. There's other people that can reach more people in a faster speed than any politician can ever do. And politicians need to do that. Musicians, artists in general, they've got a greater reach, and you need to position yourself. And right now, you don't even need artists that much. You need influencers. Look at the people with social media accounts that are moving. Send a message, meet up with this person for coffee or tea or whatever that is it that you guys are drinking, water, and then you say, listen, young king, we see that you are doing a good job. We are doing this thing, and we think that you can play a pivotal role, and offer something on the table so that these people can take your movement further, because that's the key thing. You want to stay in the public domain. Okay, we are doing it for free because we are content creators, and we want to cover stories, and people must know what is going on, but you would also need someone who is loyal to the brand, who is loyal to know that every day they must post something about Floyd. You know what I'm saying? So yeah, that's my advice to Floyd. These old people, will they understand the movement that is needed right now in terms of the own?
Yo, as we hop out of this one, we're going to watch Will Smith and this influencer bombing campaign that he's suggesting, how that can go wrong and just go cringe. I was watching a short piece of a video. We'll quickly have a look at that. So we'll be politics and entertainment, edutainment. Education while having some fun. If we're serious all the time, it's not going to be good. So we'll watch some pop culture stuff right after this.
The online life that the brand must take of its own. They are going to go around the country right now. They have to come into a decision very soon. They are not going to take too long, because I'm sure Abu Floyd, they are looking at the 2026 local elections, and they want to participate somewhere there. They need 2026 to scale themselves on how they're going to do in 2029. They need 2026. It is not an option to stay out of 2026. They need to stick there and go on the ground, test their financial resources, test their human resources, just to see just how far just how good they can do with all of these people that they have. Because if you look at that number of the people, let's say it's 60 people, and you say each of you invite 10 people, and those 10 people that you have in your team invite 1,000 people. Allow hunt for 1,000 people to join. If you do that, you already have I'm sure a ward somewhere. I'm sure you already have a seat in parliament, and I'm sure provincial legislature. Obviously you're going to be somewhere in. If you can do that, 60,000 65,000 people for a political party, it's big in South Africa. I've shown you guys the numbers of the political parties that have got only 1 seat and 2 seats. It's between 65,000 to 70, somewhere there, 75. You can have 2 seats in the National Assembly. So it is not impossible looking at the numbers of the people there. You're talking about kingdoms, you're talking about religious leaders, you're talking about people like Floyd said that are not having any confidence in the ANC, in the EFF, in the MK. Here's a new political place, and politicians love hopping around. They're going to love hopping around. So best believe that more people are going to join this whole group that we are seeing here. So again, I don't wish Floyd any bad blood. If there's more people that want to believe in what Floyd is doing, go ahead and go and support Floyd and do whatever you guys want to do that makes you happy. I'm not sure on paper what is it that is different that they can provide that is not in the 7 cardinal pillars of the economic freedom fighters, or even in the constitution that we drew there in the MK political party, or the beautiful freedom charter, or what the ANC has already on paper. I'm not sure what is the difference between them and the other political parties. We'll see. He says it's not a personal thing, it's not a cult, it's not a family thing, it's a movement that is controlled and ruled by the people. So let's just wait and see just how things is going to turn out. I've got a feeling that we'll be talking about Floyd for the longest time.
Yeah, we will.
Longest time to come. So let's get used to that name of Maibuye. Let's get used to the other individuals and characters that have joined there and have actually
the other individuals and characters like Pastor Zondo. We're going to be focusing on that for sure. And so with that, ladies and gentlemen, hope you like, hope you comment, hope you share, and you subscribe. And I'll be seeing you next time. And cut. And now we're back to the live stream. Those of you who are part of the live stream, will be part of what happens after the video is done. So we are now moving on to Will Smith, and we're about to start another video. So as I move on to the next video, whatever, I'll be trying to be efficient to make sure that each one hits the points and notes. You can join me in the stream. If not, then means that you're just seeing these videos arrive, and I've just made a Will Smith video and you're wondering why has Neo dropped a Will Smith video. It's because of the flow of how the stream is gonna go. You know, I'll be guided by the conversation that we just listened to, and the wind will blow slightly left, slightly right, and we'll go in that direction. So now, an influencer campaign. Get people to show you out to people, to their fresher audience, etc. That is King Setso's advice. Let's look at Will Smith, who recently dropped an album or a song. I Like Pretty Girls. Wackness, my brother. Trying to be the Fresh Prince of Bel-Air. If you're old and you're trying to be relevant among young people, you are going to have a hard time going through this life, you know? You're going to have a very hard time. So I don't think Floyd would be able to crack that. Get influencers to start posting about your new party. Like imagine Uncle Waffles. Kyo poster. My boo, yeah. You know how selfish celebrities are and how much they care about their brand and how they look. And you are hopeful, or those people will post you and be consistent about it without some kind of money. Bro. If you're going to become a politician and try to start up a party, these are the means to do it. This is what is available in the tools, in the toolbox of how to start an organization. Go to churches, you know, go find a database that already exists. Go find a CEO, go find a group head, go find a pastor, go find somebody who runs an organization. This one has 10 people under the organization. This one has 500 under their church. This one is CEO. He's got 1,000, people. And then you tell those people to reach out to their base and promote you. That's how you can raise a political party. But with social media, we watched just the other day a video where we saw that Israel, the killer, hired models, my brother, even gays to go on holiday, APEC. So Israel via APEC had an influencer campaign like that to have gay people, nude people, influencers, OnlyFans girls to go to Israel so that Israel can advertise that it's a secular state. It's not a religious state or nothing like that. And you can love Israel. You can find it trendy, no, man. These influencer campaigns do not work. Seems like God does not allow propaganda. You can't just sell old men's shoes to amaskr. There's a culture separation there that is hard. Difference between Gen Zs, millennials, and whatever. Can you see how different we are to our parents? Can you see how AMA 2000 are different to us, the late 80s and 90s kids? So it ain't gonna work, and this is why. So what's up, ladies and gentlemen? Back at you with another video. Here we've got Will Smith. The brother is becoming somewhat irrelevant, and he's trying to become irrelevant. He's trying to become relevant once again. And so we've got him over here trying out some tricks, trying out some voodoo, getting some influencers to try and show him as the Fresh Prince of Bel-Air, the young, cool dude, the man who is not a cuck, and an embarrassment to manhood currently. He's got a song out. He likes girls, pretty girls. But there's rumors floating about that he is a homosexual dude. There's the other guy, Brashear Gray. Do you remember? Cue here. And so Brashear Gray said that Will Smith is one of the men who used him. Just gotta skip the word over there. And so Will Smith is singing, he likes pretty girls, he's a cuck, he's got rumors circulating about him, and now he's trying to wash all of that via an influencer campaign. Let's check that out.
Will Smith is everything wrong with Hollywood. You see, he had everything. He was one of the most loved people in Hollywood. He had all the fame, success, and money you could ever dream of. He had one of the most diehard fan bases. He was the leading man in all the biggest movies, and seemingly had the perfect family. But as we all know by now, a lot of this was just a facade, and the cracks in his perfect image started forming. Whether it be him getting lectured by his wife Jada for her cheating on him with his son's friend, or while he agrees to let it be posted on the internet for the world to see, or just being relentlessly emasculated,
I gotta pee.
weak, spineless, and eventually even slapping Chris Rock in the most embarrassing event of the decade. It became very clear why today, Will Smith is one of the most hated celebrities around. His arrogance, spinelessness, narcissism, and fakeness makes him impossible to take seriously anymore. But after a good few years of rejection, he faded into the background. Chris Rock mocked him in his special, everyone laughed at him, and he just became irrelevant. But having been the Hollywood darling that he was, he needed to change his image if he were to ever stay relevant, famous, or even get whatever acting role was left for him. He had to do something, because his public image was probably at the worst it could ever be. And in recent months, we've all been able to watch it. And the way he's been going about this is a warning to any out-of-touch celebrity on exactly what not to do, being one of the worst PR runs imaginable. And to see what I mean, let's take a look at the end of March, when he released his first album in over 20 years. It seemed out of nowhere that suddenly Will Smith just started popping up all over the place. But ostensibly it might have just been to promote this album, as it seemed like his first shot at reconciliation with his audience. Or maybe he just hoped his rawness would change people's hearts. After all, he claimed it was about the parts of himself that had been banished, and that he wasn't allowed to talk about on the radio. As if the real him was gonna come out, and the spineless cocked version of him was gonna just magically disappear. But what he got instead was even more ridicule. People just called the album cringy, corny, and calculating, and quote, a pointless apology tour for the dumbest Oscar gaffe in history. He then released his next shot at becoming famous through music, with his new song called Pretty Girls, and the response was absolutely hilarious. You see, the music video for this song had insane production quality, but it didn't take long for the video to get a 60% dislike ratio, from people calling it a midlife crisis to a humiliation ritual, as some people called it, quote, the gayest straight song they'd ever heard. One commenter even begged the actor to take what dignity he had left and fade into a distant memory, making him even more of a joke. So he had to change his strategy. How could he become relevant to Generation Z if not through music? Well, he had to tap into the TikTok audience. With his calculating strategy with his team, he would pour all of his money into getting whatever relevance he could through social media. That's why suddenly people started noticing on their algorithms Will Smith was everywhere, with random TikTokers like Broke Monk. It was just so strange. Talking with people he had no association with and no connection with most of the people being at least 30 years younger than him. It just looked so weird and strange.
Yeah.
It was as though each appearance was a calculated attempt by an entire team of people in Hollywood to show Will Smith in a more positive light.
A calculated attempt by a PR team. Floyd said that he's got social media skills, that the EFF and him demonstrated that expertise. He knows all about that. And King said so in the other video that we watched. He's saying that Floyd should employ these type of tactics. Bro, this is not going to work out.
Because what better way to get in people's good books than paying off a bunch of influencers and riding off of their clouds? But unfortunately, his strategy didn't work. Take for example his interview with the School of Hard Knocks, a YouTube and TikTok page about financial literacy. Suddenly out of nowhere there appears Will Smith, and he seemed like he was trying to be open and honest with his responses. He spoke about how money didn't bring happiness, how fame was isolating, and some of the emotional struggles he had faced.
And it's a terrifying place when you realize nothing material can actually satisfy you.
Hey, he's dressed very nicely there, bro. Wow.
And it's a similar abyss at rock bottom. And the realization is that what you're actually looking for is you. What you're actually looking for is a comfort that will only come with you totally by yourself with none of this shit.
And to be fair, this is something that happens with a lot of celebrities. If they have a movie to promote or a song to promote, they'll go on random podcasts to try and get a little bit of relevance to promote their movie or upcoming project. But something about this interview didn't seem normal. It was as though everything was rehearsed and way too polished. Like he was trying to be someone he isn't. As though the entire world would just forget about all the stuff that had happened a few years ago with him and Jada and the Oscars. It was all too fake and the comments called him out on it. But despite not getting the reaction he'd been hoping for, Smith then kept on pushing. He was going to force himself onto everyone's algorithms until he could finally become relevant again. As the entire industry of Hollywood relies on this. Because if he's not relevant anymore, his entire life and soul will be stripped away from him. But it's almost jarring to see somebody manufacture themselves into relevance this much and so visibly and obviously. Like on the 11th of June 2025, when people in London walking past King's Cross Station were greeted by an interesting sight. Suddenly, out of nowhere, Will Smith was performing some of his greatest hits from the 90s. It was just out of nowhere, completely unexpected, and a big crowd started going around the actor. This time, he would appeal to people's sense of nostalgia. The old Will Smith. The one before Hollywood corrupted him. The world wants that so bad he even told the host of the Broken Record podcast.
The world is so desperate for nostalgia right now. Yeah. The world wants that so bad. And it's like people just yearning for, a time when things were a little bit easier. Yeah.
And he might be right in that sense, but when you actually look at the crowd while he performs this music, it's completely dead and the vibe just looks extremely boring, as people called out in the comments. It was just too obvious what he was trying to do, and it still seemed like none of this would help Will Smith's image. Any of his attempts at quote-unquote authenticity just felt shallow, and the nostalgia aspect just made people sad how much Will Smith had actually fallen off. So he would try one more trick, this time by forcing himself onto KSI, a sudden out of nowhere friendship that definitely wasn't strategically planned and probably paid off for. You see, recently you might have noticed them together. They've now been doing a few TikToks together, and Will Smith even supported KSI at a Legends v Creators football match. But people didn't really think too much of it so far. There wasn't anything that out of order, until KSI uploaded his most recent Try Not to Laugh challenge, which included Will Smith. KSI's audience did seem to like the dynamic, and watching Will Smith navigate a new sphere of the internet. But the elephant in the room was just so obvious that this was nothing more than a publicity stunt trying to force himself onto everyone to like him again, which is one of the worst ways to be liked in the first place. All being a PR stunt designed to try and recapture the relatability he used to have, but now a middle-aged man with a broken family and a stained reputation, which the comments would let him know about. Almost everyone in the comments would refer to the slap, whilst others just called this out as a desperate PR move. People roasted Will Smith for trying way too hard to stay relevant in one of the most cringy ways imaginable. And again, these collaborations
way too hard to stay relevant. If you go try to get Zing Ngumalo to post, what is this consultation process? Maibuye. It's not going to work out. It's not going to work out. If you try to get Scott Mapuma to tweet or to... Why didn't the EFF do those things? How can a party with Zondo achieve that? How can you mix these brands that are so far apart? The EFF said that it's a YFM political party. It's a youth movement. And so they could have achieved that, but can Zondo and Floyd at his age now, maybe that was 10 years ago when Floyd He's talking about his expertise as a social media mobilizer and whatever. But times have changed, bro. People can see propaganda. People will straight up comment underneath that influencer and say, paid ad. You've never spoken anything about service delivery. And now a brand new party and you out here, cringe, sad, sorry, and you're going to be Will Smith.
With these influencers, especially with KSI, just seems so out of touch. Like he just went online, typed in famous influencers, and decided to go with the biggest one, even if they have nothing in common and nothing to actually share of value. And while you could say they have a common interest in music, KSI is not exactly known just for his music. But maybe he just did this because KSI's audience is also known for being unquestionably loyal to KSI, no matter what, and always supporting all of his endeavors. Maybe Will Smith saw this, hoping to cultivate a similar fan base, and each of KSI's one.
Yo, I
trying
think
to
my
build
PC is
Generation
choking.
Z. But the fact that this is so spectacularly failed really points to one of the major problems in Hollywood. No one cares about celebrities anymore. The
Woo, Lord.
celebrities of the past are done. People don't care about the Hollywood industry or the actors involved. You see, his fading redemption arc is a warning to all Hollywood stars. Every year, there's more of a disconnect between regular people and Hollywood elites.
Yes.
Just a decade or two before, celebrities from
Disconnect.
Hollywood were basically untouchable royalty.
Yes.
People would never hear from them
Royalty.
unless there was some kind of scandal, or they would
Mahoshi, bringing religious leaders and kings. Maybe that strategy can work. This is still Africa, by the way. So maybe this trend of walking away from idols and these people, godless human beings, maybe that is fresh in the United States, but maybe we here are still stuck in our ways. Maybe you can convince people to say, hey, King Buyelekaya Dalinkiebo to Amaskr, and they'd have to say Togoza or something like that. But kids in the United States are like, yo, bro, cringe. We ain't about this. So I think it'll fail right here as well. We are not that backward. This is Africa after all, but we the youth are not too far behind American trends. I think this is the last ditch attempt, the last kick of a dying horse. After this, there will be no more of these kind of strategies. Y'all remember, do you know that Colonel Chris White spoke something that I started looking into, small thing, gave me some enlightenment, a better way to look at the world. He says that majority of South Africans were born after 1994. So the current living population is made up of a lot more youth than old people who went through the struggle. You see, we still have them in front of us in the form of the ANC. We still have our TVs occupied by, old people in government, etc. And that may look like, to the youth, it may look like, there's still these adults who are still leading. There's still so many of them and so many more to go. Look at a new political party. It's got Bozondo in it. So maybe it's fine. I'll start politics when I'm 66. That's maybe what the youth are thinking. Not realizing that, you have the power. You see, old people tend to overstay, but there's very few of them. The planet is ours. We are here and we need to take charge. Find a steering wheel, my brother. Find a steering wheel, my sister, and turn society in the right direction. You know what I'm saying? So this is the last attempt. This is an old style that will not work going forward. And the growing voter apathy, people who decide not to vote, that is because of Amaskr. That large amount of, that huge increase of people who started staying away from voting, it's a symptom of the young kids. They got no interest. So King Said So in that previous video is trying to link Floyd with, 19-year-olds over there. I'm at 2000, I already have kids, my brother. We were calling them 2000. They were getting into their prime like 5 years ago or 6. So in 2000 now, he's working a job with 2 kids. So the younger ones below that, my son, my daughter, those underneath 15, I don't know who's going to touch them and with what strategy. I really don't know. I really don't know what the future holds and what politics is going to look like with a young population that is glued to phones and they don't give a damn about anything that happened in the past, as long as they've got an internet connection in the toilet and they're sitting there for 4 hours.
Speak at an award show or interview. Everything never hear from them unless celebrities from Hollywood were basically untouchable royalty. People would never hear from them unless there was some kind of scandal or they would speak at an award show or interview. Everything was perfectly laid out for them. The laughs were pre-recorded, the press coverage was manufactured, and their true selves was hidden behind their gated mansions. They lived their whole lives almost completely separated from the rest of the world. But after more and more videos of these people began being posted online, all the virtue signaling during COVID, the Imagine song, from all the creepy Diddy parties and all the out-of-touch woke political virtue signaling that went on for years, meant that their pure narcissism was finally exposed online and people began to despise them. We also saw this clearly with Rachel Zegler. She was doing great, getting huge roles at such a young age. She was literally destined to be one of the most beloved Hollywood stars. But unfortunately for her, her rise came at the very wrong point in time. You see, once she managed to be cast as Snow White, the dream job of almost any young actress, her real self was finally revealed to the world through interviews, and people for the first time actually came together and saw how hollow most of these actors really are. People just called her out on it this time, as dismissive, arrogant, and virtue signaling. And while she probably was just saying whatever she thinks Hollywood wants her to say,
she's not going to be saved by the prince, and she's not going to be dreaming about true love. She's dreaming about becoming the leader she knows she can be.
The tone of it all really alienated everyone from the movie, all at the worst possible time when people were already hating on most modern actors and most modern remakes of movies. As by this point, after years of this stuff never ending, people just don't care about what they have to say. We're just now at a point where we dismiss these celebrities, as you can literally smell their false relatability a mile away. It's quite the contrast from just a few decades ago when celebrities used to be praised for their speeches, and they actually did seem to care about certain issues, and oftentimes this made people feel seen, and so these Hollywood actors gained more fans and ultimately more money and power. And so they would do whatever they could to tap into this more and more, saying whatever they thought people wanted to hear. Which is why we can now see these speeches for what they are. It's just performative word vomit to get people to stroke their egos, get them better roles, and more influence. And now they have no power. Look at any of the recent US elections. No one actually cares what celebrities have to say about these people, or even just the success of recent movies. Not that long ago, people would queue outside the cinemas just to see the next big movie. They'd follow any movie with the biggest stars' names attached. But oftentimes now, these movies just bomb at the box office. People are over all of this stuff. No one cares who's even acting, and the performative activism is just so nauseating. And people today in 2025 just have much bigger things to worry about. Nobody wants to be pandered to, or see I'm just like you moments. All people want is to be entertained, and if celebrities aren't going to provide it, they'll find it elsewhere. And this is why Will Smith just can't make a comeback. The whole situation of him slapping Chris Rock at the Oscars was
He can't make a comeback.
so outrageous that it finally woke people up to the bizarre fakery and uncaring attitude of Hollywood elites. None of these people care about you. Even for Chris Rock. Nobody protected him, nobody stopped this at the Oscars, and then Will Smith went back and sat down, and then he got an Oscar afterwards and a standing ovation, without anyone actually coming out of their own bubble to realize how bizarre and sociopathic the industry truly is. I mean, is it any wonder that LA and Hollywood itself is literally crumbling today? It's clear that this is just a dying industry. And so with all of Will Smith's new press tour trying...
Yeah, man, and the crumbling of Hollywood, I wouldn't say it'll entirely collapse and go away, but Hollywood is getting old. That portion of Los Angeles where movies and studios are and contractors are basing themselves. Trust me, I've had a look at Los Angeles and the filmmaking industry over there. It was my plan to be in America this year, if possible. I had a business plan that had and saw potential in a market in America. And so there was some big equipment that I would never be able to pay for if I merely localize my business. So I'd have to do business locally, do business in wildlife, and do business as a service provider to the TV commercial and motion picture industry over there. And I'd identified and gone through extensive research to see who are the players within the industry, the companies, you see, the suits, the people that you don't get to know, that you don't get to see. How do I get in touch with them, get my equipment, form working relationships with them, try to get off-take agreements, and then work out my immigration and stuff. So what is being said about Hollywood? Beyond doing the research about the business, I was watching quite a lot of videos about the culture and places to live, places that are affordable, schools. Seriously, very, 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 very deep research. I had done all of that. And so now I am noticing with the riots, with the strikes, with the people protesting against Trump and immigration, with Los Angeles once looked at as the dream for people coming to the United States, with that being the first target to target black people, ICE and whatever, and raids, and the people of Hollywood being exposed to be files, to be perverts, to be having freak-offs and consuming all manner of drugs, with Hollywood going woke for a number of years, where they've been really pushing trans and LGBTQ agendas on people. There's just been a lot around that area that has brought it down. The amount of debt that the US is in, the unwillingness for people to take on debt to make films because there's so many platforms and people's attention is spread all over the place. It's harder and harder to succeed making movies. The equipment is getting cheaper, so there's more people entering the industry. More people like me attempting to go at it at the highest levels, like doing, I won't tell you exactly what I was wanting to do, but it was high level, bro. High level service provider, providing high level stuff. So Hollywood is falling apart and I'm glad I'm here. This is what I ended up now doing. So, ladies and gentlemen, we end the video over here. Hope you like, hope you comment, hope you subscribe, and I'll be seeing you in the next one. And cut. So, let's go to Twitter a bit and check out what is happening in South African culture. Yase Block B, Colbert, this brother here, I know him. We've never met personally, but I follow his content. And then when I was doing the Illegal podcast, he is a brother that I could see as potential to funnel viewers towards my channel. And so by a mutual link, I got referred to him, and he's a brother who does this for his enjoyment, his love. He's a lover of content, and he keeps South Africa busy. He's the news about what's happening on the street. His commitment to downloading these videos, you see, and putting them out there for all of us. That is great. That is dope. That is amazing. I've known him now for like, it'll be 4 years. And so I've seen him continue to grow. And so we got him over here. We've got Galston Anthony from the G2G podcast. And he's talking to who here? Colbert shared him 23 hours ago. So yeah, Galston Anthony is a dude who is also coming up, having some really dope guests. And so let's hear what's happening over there.
Friend of mine, and also South Africa's very own, AKA, was...
Hey, oh wait, did I do a greeting? Did I do my greeting? See, this is where I have to get my things right. Normally, yes, when I make mistakes recording the content in the way that I used to record it, when I make a mistake, I would pause, sometimes even switch on the camera, go stand outside and think for a moment, gain my confidence, then come back. So now I am live before you and you are able to see me make some mistakes, like not greeting, just jumping into that video. So if I was to share this portion about Galston Anthony, you wouldn't really have much of a context about where we are coming from, why we are inside this video. And so even titling it would be difficult. I promote podcasts and music for a living. DM me for a reasonable quote. It's 100% free. So yeah, that's the brother there. So, okay, let me focus then this video on him. You know, I'm really hoping, I'll reveal my secret here. I'm really hoping that me and Colbert, and whichever brothers find mutual agreement, we can raise each other in a way. I now have like a serious formal platform where I talk about issues that he posts and brings about. So he's the mouth of the funnel where everything starts to flow. Is it the mouth? No. He's the lead. Yeah. He's the lead generator. He brings the topics and we hop onto them. So perhaps structuring this next video in a way that hollers at him and shows his stuff, promotes his work, you know, takes appreciation for his contribution. And then watching some of his videos, quick ones, commenting on a few for like 30 to 45 minutes. We enjoy ourselves while we're here. And perhaps the dude will get to post me as he shares these videos like this, where I'm, you know what I'm saying? Talking about him, and he will post and people will arrive. I need like a serious growth strategy. I can't sit here every day, use so much electricity for something that's going to be slow. I need speed. I need to pour nitrous oxide into the veins so that there can be a bigger fire over here. You know what I'm saying? Yeah, so we are about to go action. Hey, what's up? Back at you with another video. Today, we're checking out a dude here. His name is YaseBlock on Twitter. His handle is This Is Colbert. And we're looking at him right now on screen. The description under his picture there says, I promote podcasts and music for a living. DM me for a reasonable quote. It's 100% free. The brother has 130,000 followers and he's a VJ. DJ Lon, Wama video. We get to see South Africa and things that we would have missed out on from him. He's serving South Africa. And so I know the dude and I like his content very much. I actually sometimes steal ideas. So while scrolling through Twitter, X, I'll find his videos and know and catch up on what is happening. He brings the highlights. So we are in his account right now, on his page, if I should say, and he's got Galston Anthony there, an American South African brother who is doing the G2G podcast. I am familiar with Galston Anthony, and that seems like a hot video, doing the numbers there. Hella lot of retweets, likes, views, comments. So we're going to look at that. And then I see underneath, if all white people leave South Africa, it will be Zimbabwe within 2 minutes. The standards in Sandton will drop instantly. Advocate Aikumalo references Mozambique and Zimbabwe as the blueprint of hunger because whites left. You know, y'all can clearly see this, that Aikumalo has a certain topic that he's finna hit. We can see that he's trying to create that fear about black people. No, the fear within black people about white people leaving. I mean, this is probably not a new video. This is probably a video from some time back. And wait, I think he has this hairstyle right now, so this might be a new video. But all I'm saying is we've seen the climax of this white people leaving fear. This year, when it started, Trump saying there are bad things happening in South Africa, a whole lot of influencers and, Mouse and YouTubers came out saying, hey, you black people are going to lose out on some white people. Things are going to go down. Look at Zimbabwe. And we saw I come up with that propaganda, and people thinking, oh, maybe this might happen. Let's show a bit more respect. Let's, bow our heads, tuck our tails and, lower our bum a little bit. We might get screwed if the white people leave. And then there was an invitation for them to actually leave. And people were like, oh, now we're about to crap ourselves. I think Aikumalo is telling the truth. But we've seen the opening. We've seen 49. Is it 59 people leaving? And they're not having a good time. And this propaganda by Bo Aikumalo is becoming very clear, and it's very disappointing that DJ Sbu, Pan-Africanist, the empowerer of black people, I understand that he brings on, all kinds of guests, and there's a disclaimer at the beginning of podcast that says the views expressed, ayo, what's up, the noble nitpicker? We out here on Aikumalo. So the intro says that the views expressed by these people do not belong to the channel. But bro, seriously, podcasts are places where black people can take on their power, hold each other accountable, have deep conversations that are searching. But the Hustlers Corner has a way of platforming people and letting them have a ramble. Like DJ Sbu is tired on the day. Just switch the camera to him and let the person talk, and do their paid agenda. These were 2 batches of refugees. First were 59. Also, there was another. You see, so the refugees, there aren't a lot leaving. And so now time has come to test this brother, Yabon Lomchita lo Aikumalo, whether his fears, being projected into the hearts of black people were legit. Who's that other one? Waras as well was on that same thing. So only 59 and 9 people have left. People are playing with us. Was interviewing some of the refugees. Yo, you should post me a link. Try to post me a link. I think we may pivot and check out videos that you can find, maybe we can help each other produce this content. But for now, we are here on Yase Block B's account, we're bringing love, we're showing support, and we're hoping that there can be a constructive collaboration between black brothers to bring ourselves up. And so Galston Anthony is a new brother on the scene. He's pinned on Yase Block B's page there on his feed. And so I very much suspect that this is an extension of support for a new brother. Yase Block B does this. You see, he is a good dude. The second was only 9. I zoned after the first badge. Oh yeah, so Michelle Lee, you confirmed that there was another 9 who left. And those who are out there are apparently stuck in a hotel. Let's quickly jump into Galston Anthony and Yasser Block B, and we'll continue talking.
Unalived at your club. What happened? Tell us the story from the club owner's perspective.
Yeah, if I can tell you, being a club owner, this whole lifestyle looks glamorous. Looks like it's all fun and games. But when you get to be associated with, involved, or experience such a tragedy, it messes you up. Bro. It messes you up your home. You drink more. You don't even know what to do. You feel like you're alone. You can be surrounded by all these people there on Florida Road, came to see what's going on, but you feel alone. You feel lost. It adds to your problems at home.
Right.
It adds to your problems, your normal problems, your past traumas. It just brings back a lot of problems because
But you carried a lot on your shoulder, but I want to know about that situation because boom, I think you only started hearing from it. You know that AK has to perform. The next thing you're getting a call to say, hey man, AKA has been,
Yeah, and it wasn't even made at the club. It was strange that it happened in one of the busiest streets, most popular entertainment hub street in Durban, and in front of everybody. It was like, the way it happened was like just unbelievable and scary for me too. But when I was just at home and I got a call to say, yo, Keenan is gone, I was about to have dinner and I stopped everything. And I remember I drove like over 120 k's an hour. I didn't care. And the way I when I got there, I could see a bit of his body and it was covered. I didn't even realize that there was a friend of mine there as well, Tips. And that thing, man, was like shit.
Yeah, man, absolutely horrible. May there be justice in the case of AKA, man. Yeah, may there be justice on that. Yo, what do you think about how the AKA case is going? It was all exciting when rich men from a rich family were being represented by rich lawyers. And we thought, wow, this is going to be the scandal of the century. We're going to definitely link this to the girl who, committed suicide from the Tembe family. So, seems like that has slowed down. And Tantam Kwanazi, police commissioner, KZN, being part of that, we're like, this one will not be bought. This case will not be slowed down. This man is going to do the deeds. He's going to cook the pots. We're going to see some rich people who are able to pay expensive hitmen to put a famous person like AKA down. You understand? We thought those kind of people with those kind of resources who can separate themselves from the crime are just going to get brought in. It's like a movie. But things are quiet. You don't know what's happening. Let's check out Aikumalo. It's a very, 35-second video. Colbert, propaganda here, bro.
Where white people left, they always say, let white people go. I can tell you, in South Africa, if all white people left this country, it should be like Zimbabwe. Within 2 minutes, sent in, the standard will drop instantly like this, because you've seen the blueprint all these countries where white people have left, unfortunately, I have to say that all these countries, be it Mozambique, be it Zimbabwe, where white people have left, look at those countries. They always say, let white people go.
Ayo. So let's read the comments out here. Let's see that. It's already Zimbabwe. The litter in a couple of our metros are solid indications. No matter how unfavorable it is, however, it's a fact. This is the only lawyer with so much free time in South Africa. Hey, what does that mean? Noma ngingaphika kodwa iqiniso leli. Kodwa noma ningaphika, even if you were to deny it, this is the truth. Ladies and gentlemen, if black people were to all leave South Africa, it would be a deeply unstabilizing event. There I have projected to you the worst possible outcome that is not even possible, neither plausible. It's a fictional depiction of an end of days movie. I Am Legend. Do you remember that Will Smith movie where everybody died and he was the last man alive? It just isn't going to happen. You're not going to see an empty New York. You're not going to see an empty Joburg. Black people will always be here. White people will always be here. So if black people were to leave as well, there would be nobody working in the factories. There would be nobody at security at the door. You understand? The black staff members at the bank, at the restaurant, in the call centers, if they left, the white people's economy would collapse with it. The white people who are remaining, let's continue exploring this fictional situation in full. If the black people were to leave and the whites would remain, they wouldn't have security guards around their estates and whatever. A few bandits would remain, and those few bandits would go off and wipe out these remaining white people. Because why? There wouldn't be police officers. The SANDF wouldn't be there because it's made up of a lot of black people. There wouldn't be politicians. There wouldn't be cameramen. There wouldn't be news anchors. There wouldn't be camera crews to show what is happening to these white people. So it would be a dystopian hell where these white people would be begging for the black people to come back so that they can fill their positions and police the streets because there's a bunch of bandits out there. So in my fictional tale, if black people were to leave, you'd see white people on their knees begging for them to come back. But we all know that this situation that I'm projecting will never happen. And let me tell you something. Whatever Khumalo here is trying to sell, it's nonsense. It's a scary tale that you can tell to kids so that they can stay in their beds. It's a sign of his disrespect for the black mind. Yabona, when you're being regarded as Ihrotmane, wabona, El Nengondo, who has seen things before they collapsed, you can rely on him to tell you how to run a country. He knows, he advocates. Surely he knows the law. He knows how to balance things out, yada, 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 yada. And you're just a Sowetan, you're a Tembisen, you're a Davitonian. You're not connected to the information yourself. You've got, and I'm sorry to say this, a gassy mind. You see, you will be duped by low-level, foolish ideas like these. Let's read the comments right quick. the noble nitpicker. People love Ike. He has some solid takes, but high corner. He appears worshipping whiteness and the West in general. Yes, so, yeah, you remember I Am Legend, one of the best films. We're never going to see I Am Legend. Exactly. He's simply presenting the worst, most unstabilizing scenario. Exactly. Exactly, my brother. It's like saying, what would happen if the white sun did not rise in the morning? Do you know that the planet would freeze overnight? There would be a winter that very morning because we would wake up expecting the sun to rise, but it wouldn't rise. In fact, a cold front from Cape Town would arrive and it would get even colder the next night and colder the next night, and we'd be frozen in a fridge. Because y'all always complain. Y'all have umbrellas up whenever the sun is up. Let that white sun burn your skin, your black skin. Bruh, the Uncle Rakasing here is way too much. It's way too much, and it's so disrespectful. The people who love him are his victims, I'm telling you. I am telling you. So, we've got Penson on how taxi drivers pulled a gun on him amid road rage incident, and he nearly shed on his pants. Let's hear that. That was 5 hours ago. It ain't moving, man. It ain't moving, bruh. I want trending on the videos. Here's a comment. No, to make your point, Donald Trump said he would stop deporting people from certain sectors of the economy because his voter base were complaining that they are losing their workers. Exactly. Thank you for bringing that up. We should even check out a video to fortify this, but we've come to give glory and honor to Yasser Block B's timeline over here. Thank you for that point. You'll hear that, right? You'll hear that. So, Ike, come here for some logic, bruh. Come here for some logic. Yes, perhaps not stop, but slow down the deportation. And the South African deporters are quiet about that. You know, one of the things that is known if you go and you open an economics textbook is the fact that GDP, growth, the universities need new, fresh people. Let's just look at the universities and the top ones in the United States. Universities like Harvard, have mainly foreigners, the kids of foreigners from everywhere across the world going there. You understand? And universities have a constant churning and receiving of new people. If the university is to sustain its GDP, it would measure it by the number of butts sitting on chairs learning. And there's only so many people in the United States who can go to a school like that. The United States kids, all by themselves, cannot fill Harvard. That's a fact. They cannot. They just cannot. And so you need people from outside to migrate and study there. My brother, it's exactly the same for hospitals. Hospitals need new women from around the world there to come and give birth there because the Americans are not giving enough birth. You understand what I'm saying? The GDP of a hospital is sustained by new people being born, so the locals and the imports. How do restaurants get new clients? By Americans just giving birth to new hungry kids? No, my brother. By people migrating there to come and eat. So if you open up the borders and you allow, of course, people who are capable to participate in an economy and not just consume, but also be able to work and turn the economic machine, everything works out. Outside people have new brains. They bring new ideas. Silicon Valley, the imaginations and Hollywood, the creativity there is a measure of the diversity that the world has all contributed to that place. So, man, let us be left alone with this other rubbish. The majority of MK members, including those that remain, are not pleased with the manner in which the organization is run. That is a fact. That is Floyd. It's a 58-second video. Okay, still coming. Still coming. We covered Floyd. Let's not cover him twice. Let's check him out. Is this Nhlamulo Ndlela responding? Let's have a look at this video over here.
Press conferences, it would be only the leader, my other question is on the EFF. You have repeated that it is a cult. You even made an example on another platform that what used to happen, which many would have seen, is that at press conferences, it would be only the leader that would speak and the other leaders, the top leadership, would not get an opportunity to speak. Now, given that you hold such strong views about the economic freedom fighters, are you now not perhaps almost giving credence to...
Oh, correction, it's Floyd himself. The lower third there has his name.
At least some of what Malema has stated, that there was never a genuine call when Mkhonto we Sizwe Party wanted progressive forces to unite, because you now felt or held or harbored these views that that was a cult. Why then would there have been a call by Mkhonto we Sizwe or yourselves to say we want to unite all progressive parties? We believe that we all can wage some sort of a strong war against perhaps the ANC or the Democratic Alliance. So right now, are you not proving them right that you held these ill feelings towards them? Why would you have wanted to unite with a cult to say progressive forces must come together?
No, look, I still uphold deeply a conviction that all progressive forces and black political parties should unite to pursue a common agenda, because
including a cult.
The aspirations. Look, cult is an individual at the top there, but the membership of MK, the membership of ANC, the membership of EFF, the membership of ATN hold the same aspirations. What then becomes a difficulty is the individual leaders.
So you would have isolated him, meaning he would have said he was right.
Yeah, when we talk about unification of progressive forces, we're talking about organizational unification of aspirations as to how do we commonly pursue the same agenda, because we represent the same constituencies. If Africa Mayibuya becomes a political party, it will fervently and relentlessly pursue the unification of all progressive forces if there's no decisive majority given to Africa Mayibuya as a political party. That is the agenda which will dearly and consistently protect and uphold and promote amongst all the progressive forces, because that is what we should. We should not be in a position as black progressive forces.
Oh yeah. So, that's Floyd himself responding. And what does Colbert have for us? What's this? EO, between 90 to 95% of offenders are sick. They have serious illness. Why can't they reveal that on podcasts? Stop misleading kids and romanticizing jail. Wow, okay.
Ifone iyangena lapha kuleya mbobo ngoba like iboshwe zayifaka ifone enqeni ihlala esiswini. Immese ama drugs yonke into ongayicabanga bayayifaka enqeni bathi ukapha ngolimi lasejele. So wonke labantu laba basafike kulama platformeni abanixoxela ngejele, kungani bengakuvezi ukuthi guys majority yenu ngaphakathi ejele, I would say 90 to 95% wama offenders bayagula.
Bagula ngani?
Ama illnesses are serious.
Kanjani?
Ngikhuluma ngento engiyaziyo. Ngikhuluma ngento engiyiphila almost every day, umsebenzi wami lengikhuluma ngawo.
Baguliswa yini?
Bahanjiswa yimina noza kwethu kuma clinic nasebhedlela. Yeah, understand. Ayikho into ekuzothiwa mayenziwa odokotela ekuthiwa siqhele. Yonke into yenziwa sikhona sibuka. Ayikho offender engangifihlela ukuthi iphethwe yini health wise, because idinga mina ukuthi iyosizakala.
Okay.
So musani ukumisleader i-youth niloke romanticize ukuba sejele guys. Akuyona kuphela indaba zomalalana ejele, kuningi okwama factors, you understand, kuningi and okungekho grand. Mangithi kuwe le ndawo iyayilimaza ingqondo, hayi kancane iyayilimaza ingqondo, iyamlimaza nomuntu sakhe. Ngiyaphinda namanje kukancane ukuthi ngane umuntu ekuthiwa utolile ejele, uphumile ejele, ophila kahle ekhanda. Ngiyakutshela iqiniso lelo. Ukuthi nikasi ibona mawukuthi mhlambe nginesibazi la. Kunezibazi ezingabonakali ngokwehlo lenyama kodwa ezingapholi futhi ezinkulu okudlula isibazi leso sibona ngamehlo. Majority ama ex offenders abantu abafaceane nezinto ezifana nalezo guys. So asiyena ukushuka khotha lento siloke senza ngazathi kwi public there's something nice or something heroic ngokuthi uboshiwe. Yini emnandi ngokuboshwa? Cause ijele livulwa ngo8 ekseni. Ngabo 2:30 to 3 liyakhiwa.
Hey, yeah. Wow, man. Wow, man. Comment. The birth rate in the US is reportedly around 1.66 children per woman, which is well below the commonly accepted replacement rate of 2.1. Actually be closer to 2.7. Kombot. Izanazo. Thank you. Thank you. You're a Zulu speaker, so that guy, you felt him, ne? You felt him. I understand. IZulu ngiyasizwa but benginomngani angazi ukuthi ngimbiza taxi driver bekawu-owner kahle ubaba bekawu-owner bese ubhuti waqhubeka ngomsebenzi kababa emva kokuthi ubaba adutshulwe. Manje lo mfowethu lo bekathanda ukuhamba nami siyojika erenkeni. Bengilokhe ngilalele ekhuluma nabasebenzi bakhe bekwatile bebhizi bemoshela imoto itshontshwa giwa phansi naphezulu sithi siyayifuna indoda ikhala ilimala. So lapho ke ngayi experience ukuba duze nomuntu okhuluma isiZulu nabantu bakhe nesizwe sakhe nendlela abaqabanga ngayo bakhuluma ngayo. So to an extent that in some times, in some ways, when I can't express myself, okay, so when I speak English, ne, there's sepedi se ke se bolelang ka mofase se leng hore ha botse ke nagana se ke se bolelang ka sepedi ke moka ka ba ke sentšha ka sekgowa ke ka mokgo ke bolelang ka kgopolong. Bjale ke na lo hlakana le nako mo e leng hore ke leka go expressa something ka sekgowa ke leka ka sepedi empa ke kry lo sepedi ga sena that thing e leng hore ke a iduma. So ngizoshintsha ke ngiyibeke ngesizulu ekhanda lami bese ngiyi-interprete nge-English mayiphuma. Yabon? So I am like that. I know from my heart and my chest isiZulu, watching Isibaya for a long time, you know, experiencing Zulu people and Zulu culture. Yeah, it's people I love. I love all South Africans. Kemopedi and the tribalism is something that I hate so bad. I think that Johan Rupert paid for black people. He sent out Amachita, Echwaleni, to start or bashai lento yokwerana about our, you know, population, cultural groups. this is nothing for us to be throwing insults about. We are all black people, bruh. If my inner speech ikwazi ukuthi ikhulumbe ngesizulu, surely look at me different. Awumpona ke le mopedi, awukwishishi, you don't understand. I'm your brother. So, but we are so divided and I don't understand. This guy just blessed me. I even love Zulu preachers. Yeah. Utlwe bare awufuna ukuyeka imkhuba yakho emdaka. Like what? Is that Xhosa or isiZulu? Emdaka. Sounds like muddy. You've got like a muddy behavior, muddy personality. Udaka, baba. Hey, let's go back to the Zulu dude. Colbert posted him was okay. Yeah. It's recent. Here's another one.
Yama podcast or Agenda Network. Ile enye ngiyithandayo futhi nayo ka Scheme GP. Futhi nayo yama. Yabona sengithula isikhathi eside ngiloke ngingafuni ukugonyuluka ngalento.
Gonyuluka.
Sengibuka inqwaba yama podcast or Agenda Network. Ile enye ngiyithandayo futhi nayo ka Scheme GP. Ofuthi ama platforms a Grand O2 la akhona namanye ne, but lawo yiwa a major yo phezulu about ama offenders, ama ex-offender angasekho ejele akhuluma izitori zawo zasejele. Into efike ngiphathe kabuhlungu la. Majority ama ex-offenders are romanticizer ijele.
Yes.
Enzi ijele kwi public or kwi society libukeke ngazathi I holiday in. You understand? Mina umuntu osebenza ejele ngizokutshela straight musukukhohliswa abantu abake baboshwa baphuma ngaphandle ejele.
Preach.
Bonke labantu balimele engqondweni, balimele enhlizweni, balimele ngayo yonke indlela ongayicabanga, even physically.
In all the ways you can imagine, including physically.
Bengaguli ndawo namhlanje banama chronic disease njengoba beyama ex-offenders. Abakuvezi lokho. Ayibona into le. Bafethu yabona ngizowenza nje example ngento eyodwa engeke ngayibona ngamehlo enzeka phambi kwami. Like siyenzeke ihlandle eningi but nje ngizochaza kule instance eyodwa. Mina ukuba aware kwami nge-anal cancer, ngibe aware nge-anal cancer sengisebenza e-correctional service.
I-cancer yomdidi. Let's go.
And now uma usebenzisa ingqondo, most likely yini into engakhoza ukuthi umuntu abe ne-anal cancer. Yayibona leyo nto. Lapha engqeni abafowethu baphenduka abafazi.
Oh my God.
Endakalalo umuntu oyedwa. Enye into kumele